The 20th century remains marked by an unparalleled conflict, a shadow cast across civilization.
World War II was not merely a clash of nations, but a collision driven by ideology.
At its heart stood one man, Adolf Hitler, a figure synonymous with destruction. He took a nation humiliated by defeat and transformed it into a weapon of conquest. Our story is not just about the war he started, but the psychological path he took. How does an unknown Austrian drift become the Führer of the German Reich?
The answer lies in the deep wounds of post-war Germany, the Weimar Republic's fragility. A perfect storm of economic collapse, national shame, and political extremism brewed. Hitler skillfully channeled this widespread resentment into a destructive political force. He offered simple answers to complex miseries, preying on fear and national pride.
His journey from a homeless artist to an absolute dictator is a chilling lesson in history.
The world remembers him not for power, but for the unprecedented destruction he wrought. We begin our exploration in Braunau am Inn, Austria, in 1889. Adolf Hitler was born into a middle-class but troubled household. His relationship with his strict authoritarian father was deeply strained and hostile. He found solace only in the idea of the German nation, admiring its perceived strength. His mother, Clara, provided the only real affection in his difficult early life. Following his father's death, Hitler dreamed of being an artist in Vienna. However, his application to the Academy of Fine Arts was rejected twice. This failure marked a critical shift, fueling resentment against the established order. Living in poverty, he drifted, reading radical pamphlets and political literature. It was here that his latent anti-Semitism solidified into a vicious worldview. He blamed Jewish people and socialists for the failures he perceived in society. He enlisted in the Bavarian Reserve Infantry Regiment, serving as a dispatch runner. He proved brave, earning the Iron Cross Second Class, and later, First Class. The trenches molded his fanatical obedience and belief in German superiority. In 1918, a gas attack blinded him temporarily, bringing the war to a terrifying end. While recovering, Germany signed the armistice. Hitler saw it as a stab in the back. He was now convinced that Germany had been betrayed by internal enemies. Disillusioned, he returned to Munich, entering the chaotic political landscape. He was assigned to infiltrate a small political group, the German Workers' Party, DAP. But Hitler found resonance in their nationalist, anti-Semitic platform. He soon dominated, discovering his powerful, mesmerizing oratorical talent. His voice, harsh but captivating, offered certainty to desperate people. The party was rebranded as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. He introduced the party flag and the use of the powerful Roman salute. The SA, or brown shirts, provided muscle, intimidating political opponents. By 1923, feeling bold, Hitler attempted a violent takeover, the Beer Hall Putsch. The coup failed disastrously, resulting in arrests and the deaths of many supporters. Hitler was arrested and charged with treason, facing 5 years in Landsberg prison. Instead of crushing him, the trial provided a national platform for his rhetoric. In prison, he dictated his political manifesto, Mein Kampf, My Struggle. The book outlined his hatreds and his expansionist vision for German living space. Hitler realized that power must be seized legally, through democratic means, ironically. After only 9 months, he was released, politically energized and focused. He rebuilt the Nazi Party, establishing a rigid, centralized bureaucracy. The Great Depression hit Germany severely in 1929, fueling mass unemployment. This economic disaster proved to be the pivotal moment for the Nazi cause. Desperate citizens sought radical alternatives to the failing democratic system. Hitler masterfully deployed propaganda, guided by Joseph Goebbels. Mass rallies, meticulously staged, projected an image of invincible national unity. The swastika and the uniform became inescapable symbols of restored German strength. He campaigned ceaselessly, using airplanes, a modern tactic, to reach millions. In the 1932 elections, the Nazis became the largest party in the Reichstag. The establishment, believing they could control him, made a fatal miscalculation. On January 30th, 1933, President Hindenburg appointed Hitler chancellor. The path to dictatorship was now frighteningly clear and incredibly fast. A month later, the Reichstag building burned down under mysterious circumstances. Hitler instantly blamed communist terrorists, exploiting the resulting hysteria. The Reichstag fire decree stripped away civil liberties overnight. Political opponents could be imprisoned indefinitely without charge. The Enabling Act soon followed, granting Hitler power to pass laws without parliament. The democratic structure of Germany had been systematically dismantled. The SS, led by Heinrich Himmler, gained control over the internal security apparatus. The first concentration camp, Dachau, opened for political prisoners in March 1933. Hitler faced one final threat, the radical SA, led by his old comrade Ernst Röhm. The SA's desire for a second revolution worried the German army leadership. In June 1934, Hitler orchestrated the Night of the Long Knives. Hundreds of SA leaders and political enemies were summarily executed. This blood purge cemented his control and secured the loyalty of the army. When President Hindenburg died that August, Hitler merged the offices. He declared himself Führer and Reich Chancellor, absolute ruler of Germany. The state immediately focused on rearmament, in direct violation of Versailles. The racial laws intensified, culminating in the 1935 Nuremberg Laws. Jewish citizens were stripped of their rights and barred from German society. The global response was weak, adhering to a policy of appeasement. Emboldened, Hitler pursued his dream of unifying all German-speaking people. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria, the Anschluss, to overwhelming local support. Next came the Sudetenland, a German-speaking region of Czechoslovakia. The Munich Agreement effectively surrendered the land to prevent war. Chamberlain declared peace for our time. Hitler simply saw weakness. The subsequent invasion of the rest of Czechoslovakia proved appeasement had failed. Hitler now turned his attention east, towards Poland and the Soviet Union. In a shocking move, Nazi Germany signed a non-aggression pact with the USSR in August 1939. The two ideological enemies secretly agreed to partition Poland between them. The stage was set. Germany fabricated a border incident to justify invasion. On September 1, 1939, German forces attacked Poland. Britain and France, finally recognizing the threat, declared war on Germany. The world was plunged into the catastrophic darkness of World War II. The German military unleashed blitzkrieg, or lightning war. Coordination between tanks, air power, and infantry proved devastatingly effective. Poland fell within weeks. The quiet, phony war followed across Western Europe. In April 1940, Hitler ordered the surprise invasion of Denmark and Norway. May 1940, Germany bypassed the Maginot Line, smashing through the Ardennes forest. The speed of the offensive caught the Allied armies completely off guard. British and French forces were cornered, leading to the Dunkirk evacuation. By June 1940, Paris fell, and France humiliatingly surrendered to Hitler. Hitler was at the peak of his power, controlling almost all of Western Europe. Britain, under Churchill, stood defiant, refusing any terms of surrender. The Battle of Britain, fought in the skies, marked Hitler's first major setback. Failing to secure air superiority, the planned invasion of Britain was abandoned. Hitler's focus shifted to his ultimate ideological goal, the conquest of the Soviet Union. In June 1941,
Operation Barbarossa launched the largest invasion force in history.
The initial advance was stunningly fast, taking millions of Soviet prisoners. But the Russian winter, coupled with fierce resistance, halted the German attack. Hitler, believing himself a military genius, overruled his generals repeatedly. The systematic genocide of the Holocaust escalated in the occupied East. The final solution became institutionalized, leading to the murder of 6 million Jews. The turning point came at Stalingrad in 1942, a brutal, protracted urban battle. The destruction of the German Sixth Army marked the irreversible shift on the Eastern Front. The Allies landed in Italy in 1943, and the bombing campaign intensified over Germany. On June 6, 1944, the Allies opened the Western Front with the D-Day landings. Hitler's grasp on reality deteriorated, marked by fits of rage and paranoia. Dissent grew, leading to the failed July plot, an assassination attempt by his own officers. The crushing failure resulted in thousands of executions and complete military subordination. By 1945, the Soviet army stormed into Berlin. Hitler retreated to his bunker. He married Eva Braun and, with the war lost, committed suicide on April 30, 1945. History remembers him not for power, but for the destruction he unleashed upon the world.